Hi everybody, Nick McDonald speaking. Looking here at the dollar index on the daily chart. What we've done is we've come down here, we've actually formed a little bit of support down here. Now it's not a major level like some of the other levels which I kind of just leave permanently on my chart. So we've got 80 up here which is a major level, 78 down here which is a major level. What we've done is we've formed a bit of support through here. We've had a number of touches and we've also had some resistance in the past and some good support back through here. So it's quite a key level. It's around about 78.50. Now we've come down, we've bounced off that. Now actually this forms a level of significant interest now because it's the breakdown through that which will confirm the bearishness for us. So I am bearish in terms of we've now made lower lows, but I want to see lower highs come in. And actually I think a really good place for that will be a pullback into 80. So if we pulled up on the short term, then I'll be looking for a short on around about 80. However, if we broke down through 78.50, then I'll be looking for a short. However, it would really depend on where I could get a stop loss because we'd run into some support down around 78. So that'd only be around about a 50-point target, and even less once you take some, take into account that you're probably going to get short a little bit below 78.50. So therefore, going to be quite a tight trade down to 78, but it would be bearish. So my preferred trade there would be a pullback into 80. Now, why is that? Well, it would be pulling back nicely into the averages, but also if we drew a Fibonacci line in here, it's going to be pulling right back into that sweet spot. It's around about a 50% pullback there. So that would be a nice place for it to pull back to, plus, of course, a major resistance level. And at the point where we'd be now confirming the downtrend if we can pull back in there and make a lower high. So daily chart looks very bearish indeed. However, really just got to watch these levels, like I say, 78 or 78.50, sorry, 80 at the highs if we can pull back to there, or if we move lower from here, then 78.50 to see if we break down through that. If we do, it looks bearish, but just got to keep an eye on trading opportunities and make sure that there's good reward on them as well, and 78 is in the way. Let's have a look at higher time frames and see how much 78 bothers us. Well, one thing that's happened here, we're in an uptrend still on the weekly chart, but what we did here was this should have been bullish. This little bullish candle, when we broke up through it that should have been bullish. In fact, we rejected it, we failed. That normally means we'll pull back to at least the next support level, which in this case is the same level we saw on the daily, 78. So I'm quite confident of a pullback to there, and it doesn't look as much like pulling up to 80 in the meantime. We have to just keep an eye on both of those charts. However, looking at this on a monthly chart, this is very, very bearish. So we do have a bit of a mixed bag with the daily being bearish, the weekly being still in an uptrend, but the candle's not looking so good, then the monthly looking very bearish indeed. Having come down now, rallied back up, actually made a lower high, didn't quite get up to where I thought it would. I remember saying I thought it would get up to around about this kind of 83.50 or 8400 type level. Didn't quite get there. Now we've got a big bearish candle and a breakdown through that candle. This is starting to look more like that move down towards 7400 being on the cards. Of course, if we start to move down there, we've just got a lot in the way. We're going to come back into this place that we were in for a long time through here, where we're bouncing off these key levels, 78, 77, 76. You guys heard me talk about these same figures so many times as we were all the way through here, but there's so much action off them. I think if we start to move towards 74, there'll be a lot of trading opportunities off those levels again. Let's just quickly look at euro dollar, and I want to look at a couple of the spot currencies. But looking at euro dollar and seeing how this backs us up, this is a similar situation on the weekly chart to back up my view, where see this, we came down, we pulled back with this bearish candle, we broke down through it, we should have gone lower there. In fact, we came up and we've gone higher. This is now looking like it should pull back to pull back up here to the next level of resistance, which is 135, really key level that euro dollar is often drawn to. It'll be starting to look potentially like a better short at that point, but if we do get up through there, that is euro up and dollar down, and therefore looking like that move, downwards on the US dollar in the short term, a little bit up on euro. Let's have a look at it on dollar Swiss and just see if the dollar looks bearish here, and actually it does. Specifically here on the monthly chart, very bearish. We've come down, we've pulled back into the moving average sell zone, small bearish candle, and now breaking down through the lows of that. However, as much as that looks bearish and backs up my bearish US dollar view, I'm much more skeptical on this particular pair because of the intervention from the Swiss National Bank, which is likely to cause some conflict in this particular pair, as well as other Swiss franc crosses. So this one, it does look bearish, and it certainly may well go down, although I'm more skeptical of whether that will go down simply because of intervention in the currency markets. However, coming back now and looking therefore at the dollar index, I do think that this will break down. It's just a case for me of whether it breaks down through 78.50 before testing 80. If it comes up and tests 80 first, then I think that'll provide a good zone for shorting opportunity. I'll be looking for shorts there and then looking for it to come down towards 78. If it breaks 78.50 first, I'll be looking to see if I can get a tight stop loss for a trade somewhere shorting around 78.50 down towards 78. From there, I'll be starting to look for reasons just to be staying with this trend down towards 77, 76, and even 75, because the daily and the monthly are looking very bearish. We do, though, however, to really confirm this, need to see the weekly chart come into agreement with that, and that's going to take a little bit of effort from here because the weekly chart is definitely making higher highs and higher lows, providing some conflict and therefore providing just that little bit of uncertainty, just where I can't say we've got all of the timeframes in agreement. So if you've been listening to me for a while, I'm the most bullish or bearish, the most confident when I have multiple timeframes and all of the daily, weekly, monthly in agreement direction-wise. We don't have that. We have the daily and the monthly in agreement. The weekly's got to come into play as well. So watching it closely, but if we can start getting down here and testing 78 and below, it's not going to take long before this then just has that one pullback, makes a lower high, continues down, and we will be back into weekly agreement as well. But it's likely to take a number of weeks before we see that. Happy trading all. I hope that helps, and I look forward to speaking to you on next week's update.